that first decade, 1910s, 1920s, you're absolutely correct that a lot happened during this during that period. It's a really rich period. We actually spent a lot of time on these live streams talking about that particular period. I think mostly in the month of November, if you go back to my live streams in the past, under the live tab of my channel. So we talked a lot about that period because, as you said, it's a very, very, very rich period. You are right that basically, if we come to our current times, the big sort of leaps that we have made, the big progresses that we've made are more in experiment and instrumentation and measurement. Our ability to measure and instrument, it has vastly improved, but there might not have been as much progress and richness in theoretical types of work. Yeah, I think I would tend to agree with that. He paid twice by mistake. Who? Oh, yes. So now let's talk about Galileo real quick. Even though we have Galileo we're going sort of in the other direction. We talked about Galileo in the past, but let's do it again. So, so Galileo lived from 1564 to 1642. Galileo is sometimes called the first modern experimental physicist. Instead of relying purely on the pronouncements of Aristotle, Galileo tried to understand how nature works by carrying out experiments such as swinging pendulums back and forth and sliding weights down inclined planes. Although Galileo didn't invent the telescope, he was among the first individuals to use a telescope as a scientific instrument. The actual inventor of the telescope may possibly have been a Dutch optician called Hans Lippershey. In October 1608, Lippershey applied for a patent on what he called a kitchger, or looker in English. The patent was denied by the Dutch government, however, on the grounds that many other persons had a knowledge of the invention. Indeed, news of the telescope reached Galileo in Italy as early as May of 1609. Soon thereafter, he built several telescopes, each superior to the one before. Although Galileo's telescopes had apertures of only an inch or two, they provided Galileo with many important observations. Galileo, knowing the potentially revolutionary impact of his discoveries, rushed into print in March 1610 with a pamphlet entitled Sidereus Nuncius, Starry Messenger. Many of Galileo's observations were startling to his contemporaries. So Galileo knew how to publish. This is another thing. In academia, we say publish or perish, right? Basically, you want to get good results and then you want to publish, or you're not going to get the revolutionary impact that you might be hoping for. At least Nicholas is Googling relevant stuff. Some other guy was putting capitals of various areas in the chat. You know, the capitals are better than some of the other comments we've gotten here. And yes, thank you, Nicholas. Galileo di Vincenzo was an Italian astronomer, physicist, and philosopher. He's often called the father of modern astronomy and the father of modern physics. Wow, look at you, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Nicholas, you should continue to tell us more about Galileo and Newton and Copernicus. In fact, we did not talk too much about Copernicus. We've covered him in the past. You should put something in the chat about Copernicus. Love it. But yes, I would rather take Galileo and capitals of various areas than some other things we've seen. You're hungry? Oh, McDonald's? Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that. So, this is what Galileo observed. The moon